make sure that your background noise is muted. Make sure that mute button stays that way, then that would be great. We just want to respect Zola today as he does speak. And then I just want to say that we are so glad that you're here for Mastering the New Norm. Every day it seems like there's something different that's taking place, and Zola is going to bring some helpful tools to us today to help us move forward with success in our current day and time. Zola is actually a past president of Aura. He is part of the CIPS faculty. He's part of the Florida Realtors faculty. He specializes in international real estate and just brings such an incredible wealth of wisdom and insight to us. We're excited to learn from you, Zola. And then today after you present, if you'll recognize Reese, that would be great. I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. And thank you, Reese, for taking these few minutes out of your day and being participating here. And I really appreciate all of you actually who is being on the call and participating. So last week, I'm not sure if you remember, we started this little mini webinars. I call them like little power sessions. And I think it's so important for us to get to the right mindset and the right thinking process and the right moment, how we are and what we need to do today to survive and not only to sustain, but also grow our business. So we came up with these mini series, and actually I got a lot of feedback from you guys. So I'm taking this apart. So what we are doing is we talk about the mindset. We talked about the mindset and also the time management, the time blocking or time scheduling. Those are the things. And then thirdly, we were talking about the new value propositions, which is your unique selling proposition. What can we do in order for us to change our way of doing business so we can match the needs and wants for our consumers and customers and clients. So we'll take that apart in the next 3 sessions. So today I'm going to cover, I think, the most important thing. So I'm going to share a screen with you, and we're just going to dive right in because we have a very limited time. And again, I believe these are little power sessions, and that's, you can see that. So I came up with this little infograph. So let me just go ahead and just zoom in so we can go ahead and talk about where is our mindset today. Well, first of all, I do believe if I don't have, and this is even prior to all of this, what is happening right now, even prior to this, what I am doing and what we are doing in an everyday transactions as a real estate agents, as realtors, you are really servicing the needs and wants of your clients and customers, right? So how do I serve them if I can't even get my head straight? So meaning like in a period of now, which by the way, absolutely changes by the minute, by the hour, and by the day, right? So we have to set our mindset into a mode of taking care of ourselves. Because here's the thing, if you don't take care of yourselves, then how you're expecting you are going to be able to take care of others, right? So, and that's really what it comes down to. It's super important to stay informed what's going on in the world right now, and actually even in the hyper local level in your own county or your neighborhood. However, please do not obsess, because I know I talk to some of my agents as well and practitioners all over. We can get into a mode of fear. You get obsessed. You are getting into you're watching TV, and then the next thing you are trying to do calculations. What is the likelihood? Know what you need to do. Know, and you know already what you need to do. You know what it means to be in an essential business. If you have no business out there, then you stay home, not only because of yourself, but for the sake of others as well. I'm not going to talk about that, but just accept the fact, be informed. Don't hang on the news channels, please, because I found that that's just absolutely not productive. Use affirmations to basically to create the reality we want. I do believe this is more important than ever to start your day and set your date in the right mindset. by saying affirmations, and you can find those things all over. So set your head straight. And in a simple way, when we feel good about ourselves and have a positive attitude, our lives tend to run smoothly. And again, if you don't take care of yourself and your own mind, how can you take care of others, right? So that's so important. I would really suggest for doing that, and just program yourself in the morning. And especially if kids are home, you are doing homeschooling, this is even more important to have a family conversation, and with your spouses, with your children, to make sure everyone is on the same page. And this shall pass too. However, it's going to take, we don't know when, we don't know it's going to be changing, right? It's not going to happen the way how it started, which was one day to another. So it's going to be, we need to think a little bit. And here is what it comes up. Last week I mentioned this, guys. We shouldn't be super positive. We shouldn't be super negative about these things either. But what we should be doing is being prepared. And by preparing ourselves, not only our minds, but our business as well, you won't have any surprises, and you take it one day at a time. You just take it one day at a time and be prepared. So people are still buying and selling in a changing market. We're in a changing market. So we had kind of, if you remember, it's real estate is cyclical. It's in cycles, right? So just think about this for a moment. This is another cycle. Treat it as a cycle, as a market change, because it's changing, and it will be. And I hope and I wish I can, me or anyone else can give you a date. This is going to end in May 1st, June 1st, August. I don't know. We don't know. But what we know is accepting the fact, what are the needs and wants for the consumers out there today. So what is the buzzwords out there from the clients and the customers? It's safety. That's the word you always hear. Social distancing, right? People are disappointed. So how do we tackle with these things, and how we actually make sure people who are buying and selling in a changing market, we can identify those people and how we can service them. And those services might be an absolutely different approach what you have done last month or the month before. So we have to think about innovative solutions, and we need to make sure we also teach them on certain ways how to use these innovative solutions and technology, what we have available for us to reach out to the people, to do virtual presentations, to do virtual buyer qualification, listing appointments, open houses. Because here is the point, even you are an essential business, it does not mean that people still want you in the house. So think about that for a moment, right? Yeah, I can go there because I'm an essential business. Yeah, but that's not the point. They might don't want you to come in. So what are the things, what are the new norm, what we need to implement for servicing those buzz points, right? Those buzzwords, meaning like the safety and social distancing and all of the negativity what comes with it. So that's one thing for sure. Let me just give you a few numbers. Like for instance, in the morning, what we are starting to do with the group, with my group as well. Every morning we wake up, we do the affirmation. We also set the schedule. They set the schedule the day before for today. And then what happens is we check on the numbers. And again, people buy, sell in the changing market. This is black and white, ladies and gentlemen, because in Orange County alone, Orange County, in the past 24 hours, we had 41 listings taken. We had 29 contracts, so went pending, 29, and we had 21 closings. I don't want to talk about closings, obviously, because closings are something which is being generated a month before or 2 months before, right? So it's closing now, right? But the active listings we get 41 of them in the past 24 hours. So people are still selling, and people are still making offers, and the properties go under contract. So we had 29 under contract. So let me mention this. down in here about growth mindset. So what we need to do, we talked about this last week, fixed and growth mindset. I do believe you do need to have the growth mindset right now. The good news, you can develop these by educating yourself and see what's going on, and you just have to lead the way with the new tools and new value propositions, what you can offer for your clients and customers. Is that a virtual solution? Yes. How are we going to do that? What can we use what we have already? We have the Zoom, we have WebEx, we have different ways. We have tablets, we have iPhones. You can do, or smart devices. You can use any of those things to go ahead and have that available to your people. What do I need to learn to master those things? So you should time block for those things and make sure you literally own the day versus the day owns you, because that is the most important thing. I believe this is the time when you can just totally just blow your day. You can wake up at 9-10 o'clock in the morning and hoping this thing is going to pass in the next 2 weeks, and then you're literally not going to be doing anything productive, not only for your family, but most importantly also family and your business. So how can we make sure we do that? So schedule that on the day. If I need to learn this in order for me to offer this service, then you schedule those things. And so what we have done in 2 months ago to get new clients, it's not going to be the same what we are getting right now, right? Or you need to be doing right now. So the conversations about, okay, I'm going to the next slide on that. So stick to a routine or create one. So what do I mean by that? If you had a time schedule, a time blocking before, then stick to that. Do not lose up on that. Just keep at it. If you have not had that before, then this is a perfect time to create a schedule for the day ahead, maybe for the week ahead. But I wouldn't go too much further out, because guess what? Whatever we had plans in November, December for 2020, that's pretty much, you need to revamp it. You need to revisit it, and you need to redo your plan for 2020. And again, the good thing about that, the destination is the same. The goals are the same. What you set in 2019 for 2020, that's the same goals. Is just the roadmap changed. You just have to take, and we have to take a different route, and we will do it. We have been doing that when the market changed before, so we can just do it. We just have to be creative about these things. Now, I also wanted to mention the last part. So how do we having conversations, and how do we actually have the mindset to generate more prospects, to more leads and more clients? I do believe this is the time ever in a real estate world when you and us need to listen more than talking. This is the time when we have to come with a conversation of compassion, simple questions of, hi, how are you? How are things going? So why I'm saying this, because I do believe, remember the 2 buckets we talked about last week, I think I mentioned, and one of them is people who are going to be making business right at the moment are the ones who have a massive database, because those are the people who are your flag carriers. Those are the ones who are your fans, your cheerleaders, and they are the ones who are the past clients, family members, close friends. Those are the ones who are going to be referring business to you right at the moment. And that's what happened in the financial crisis as well. People stayed in business and actually grow their businesses who had a massive database. So by building that, that's you nurture from here. Now, what about new businesses? New businesses are going to be in a different way, because now the conversations can't be just jumping on these people. It's going to have to come from compassion and with one thing in mind, which is to build that database today for transactions for tomorrow. Meaning, like, you are creating a long-term relationships with your new people, and so to speak, you put them in the back burner. That's how I like to call it. And you keep them simmering when they are ready to pull the trigger, because yes, there are people who lost their jobs. Yes, there are people who guaranteed to get their job back. And yes, they are motivated enough. So just to sum it up, the whole conversation, what we had in this 15 minutes is this: your mindset. You are the one who needs to set the tone for yourself, right? So you're in charge of yourself. And as a matter of fact, you are the only charge of yourself, period. Nothing else, right? So you can control yourself. So set your mindset. Make sure you actually acknowledge the fact people are buying and selling real estate. Create the growth mindset, which is, what are the tools, what are that virtual solutions, what I can offer, what are the things. And I'm not saying you should go and spend money on things. This is actually the time when you should not spend money on anything, but let's see, what do I have in my toolbox, right? So what I can use already, what I might already had, but I never thought about it. People in international business, by the way, who is doing international transactions, this is not new to you guys, because you have done this virtually almost every single transaction, because someone is either out of the country, or relocation people, they are out of state. You had to have a communication with them, so you still communicated with them. But now it's just even better now, because now you just have to do it with the person down the street from you or from across town. And making sure building relationships. So growth mindset. And finally is building that database and making sure you are using your existing database for business today, and then building and adding new people to your database with the mindset of long-term and relationship building, database building today for transactions tomorrow. I hope it made sense, and I really hope you took at least one thing out of this, or two things in this 15 or 17 minutes, because my goal with these little mini series is to give you at least one thing or two things, a few things which you can take away, implement it into your business today, and you can feel more comfortable, and you know that we will go through this, we will pass this. We don't know when. Don't be over optimistic, over pessimistic, but be prepared. Just be prepared. And Mr. President, just a note. So that was the presentation, but I just wanted to point out something, Reese. Do you see this?
I do. I know exactly what that is, Mr. President.
Oh my God. I was like talking to someone on the phone, and they keep saying, zoom into the call, zoom into the call. And I'm like, how relevant is this?
Right.
That was my theme in 2014. So
That's,
I just own it. I own it back.
yeah, you do.
So,
Yeah, you do.
ladies and gentlemen, our President, Reese, please.
Okay. Well, Zola, one thing that I want to say, that affirmation part that you were talking about, well, those of y'all that possibly know me and know who I am, you know, my prior career before getting into real estate, I was a U.S. Army soldier. And my affirmation every morning when I wake up, and believe me, my past training has heavily weighed. And every morning I get up and I tell myself, I'm a soldier. This too shall pass. All right. So that's my affirmation, Zola, every morning. And believe me, it comes in handy every day. But a couple things I want to say before we close out, if you don't mind. It's an honor to be your president. I truly say that from the bottom of my heart. Orlando Regional Realtor Association, ORA, is here for you, as you can see. You know, with this great presentation that Zola gave us today, ORA is always thinking outside the box. Actually, he's going to be putting more stuff out here shortly about a FREC ruling that came down yesterday. So you guys, we're in a different norm. We're in an unprecedented time. You know, there's a lot of things going on. And these little mini webinars we put together, and thank you, President Zola, for being willing to still give to the membership. We truly honor that from you. So that's some of the things that we at Aura and Ashley and everybody at Aura understands how important us coming together is. You know, even though Zola talks about relationship building with your customers and your clients, you guys, we do relationship building with ourselves every day in this great association. Okay. And we're going to keep bringing you stuff. So if you don't mind, go ahead and jot down to go ahead and go to orlandorealtors.org/webinars and join us tomorrow from 10 to 10:30 for a mini webinar that it's entitled Leading in a Crisis. And it's put on by Dan Elzer, who's not only a coach, but a national speaker. And even though you think the content's going to be geared more toward brokers, you guys, I say to you, in this unprecedented time we're going through, leadership is prevalent upon every one of us. It applies to every one of us. Okay. So visit orlandorealtors.org/webinars, sign up for your webinars. And once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today and being on this mini webinar with us. And as always, we definitely here at Orlando Regional Realtor Association, thank you for being a valued member of Aura. And I want to close this out today, and Zola alluded to it a while ago. Yeah, we're essential business, but it's not business as usual. We don't need to be on the streets unless we have to, unless it's essential. So those of y'all that knows the theme that we got going on at Aura now, stay home, stay safe, save lives. Orlando Realtors Care. Thank you, everybody. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Reese. Ladies and gentlemen, that would conclude 22 minutes. We did great. And hopefully see you guys next week for the time blocking, scheduling session. Same thing, same format, 15 minutes. Hopefully you take something out of it and make your day better. Thank you, guys.
Everyone. Keep well.
Bye.